You are now watching The Lone Blown. Blown! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Thanks for joining back here at The Lone Blown. I am The Lone Blown, aka Zach Lesage, and we're here with a new deck featuring Drednaw VMAX. So, I know a lot of y'all would be like, yo, Zach, isn't this supposed to be like a competitive channel? And I mean, you're right. It's just one of those things where I try to cover as many interesting new decks as possible, and as much as this isn't really a deck or anything like that, I do want to give the opportunity if any of y'all are collectors or starting off on the Pokemon TCG, maybe you opened a bunch of Champions Path, for example, and you wanted to build a Drednaw VMAX deck. So I mean, there's only so many videos I can cover about ADP, Eternatus, and I mean, by all means, feel free to check those out. I just want to try to cover like as many decks that I think could be at least semi-viable. I know if we were playing in real life play, someone would pull up to this deck at a League Challenge, a League Cup. I might even pull up to it at a League Challenge or League Cup if we had those right now. So we're going to cover it on the channel today. If you want to see the copy and pastable list, if you want to try to break this deck or try out this exact build, check it out in the description below. Be sure to check out all the socials, see if there's any sponsors, discounts, all that good stuff. And while you're at it, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because you know you want to. So going over the deck, I'll go over some of the important aspects. Both Drednaw V and Drednaw VMAX share the same ability of Solid Shell. So they're taking 30 less damage from attacks, which, well, it could add up. This might end up becoming a heal-based deck, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sold on that. Like the other VMAXs of this set, it has a terrible weakness in the form of Lightning type. So until Fire type VMAXs really take off, I mean, we got Centiskorch out there, but Centiskorch is it's a Lone Wolf in it out there, or Lone Centipede in it up there, I should say. This is going to get absolutely bopped by Pika deck. Same thing as Lapras, same thing as Inteleon. We don't necessarily have an energy. We have weakness guard energy, it's just the requirements here are really awkward. Maybe we could add in a couple to make it better, but reasonably it's one of those cards where I'm like, blah. The weakness makes me want to curl up into a ball and cry myself to sleep. We're looking at it more for like, it has decent HP, Solid Shell kind of boosts it up a little bit more than most. So I mean, it's a tanky poke. Gmax Headbutt's okay. It's doing like the same thing as Eternatus VMAX for the most part. Eternatus is usually one-shotting 2 prizers and 2-shotting 3 prizers. This is very much doing the exact same thing. And you might be like, yeah, but what about the coin flip? Well, this deck, similar to Wailord V that I will be covering in the future, or covered already depending on when you're watching this. We got Glimwood Tangle, which allows us to reflip, to give ourselves a better chance of getting it. I mean, Gmax Headbutt having a 75% chance on average of doing 240 is pretty good. 240 for 3 is a requirement that I like. Other notable things, we have Marshadow, so we can get around our opponent's Chaotic Swells, or anything else that's just blocking us that we can't bump with Glimwood Tangle. We have a Black Kyurem. I think this might be the best water type counter, especially if you play stadiums, to Decidueye Altaria decks. Decidueye and Altaria block V, VMAX, and GX cards, so that might be something to worry about. This is why we have it in the deck. There's also Ordinary Rod, so we can get it back. So I mean, if this Pokemon can knock out 4 Pokemon, we have some options. This is great against Eternatus. We also can go through some things with Sonic Edge, so do keep that in mind as well. And you could stop GX Pokemon from attacking, doing damage, I should say. Frosmoth is bestowing those energies on us. They're fluttering down from the skies. We can power up our Pokemon very quickly. Capacious Bucket searches out energies. We can get them back. Reasonably, everything else here is a very normal inclusion to most decks. Like, if you've looked at any deck in PTCG, we have Bosss Orders, Marnie, Research. It's like the trio of the best. Air Balloon to get some retreats, and then some energies. So nothing overly spicy beyond what we already have. So, I mean, we'll see how this deck goes. Feel free to roast me in the comments below if you think Drednaw sucks, or if Drednaw is your home slice. Feel free to hype it up, share it with all your friends. Let's see how it goes. Let's jump into some games. Okay, so we're going to call the coin flip, and we lost the coin flip. So hopefully our opponent allows us to go first, because that means they'd be playing a fire type deck. Because they want to go second. But I mean, overall, we got a pretty okay start here. With Drednaw and a Snom. Not that we're going to be doing too much with it. So let's vibe out here. Looks like we're playing against... Oh. I mean, this is exactly one of the things that we got to watch out for. Pikarump's definitely one of the best decks, if not the best deck in our current format. So this likely being a Pika deck hidden beneath the shell makes it very terrifying to play against. If our opponent doesn't necessarily get anything, I mean, I think they're going to get out a Pika right here. Or a Dedenne. It's probably just going to be an absolute train wreck of a game for us. Because we have no way around it. I mean, the tough thing about weakness guard energies is the decks that it's usually good against, they usually play some way to get around it. Like, they'll play Team Yell Grunt, or they'll play Crushing Hammer. So this is really one of those things where I don't think we're doing too well. They also should have gone second if they were playing Peak there. Just a hot take. I'm going to put the Black Kyurem down because that might be okay. Let's go Air Balloon there. Let's go Water Energy there. If they end up bopping us, they end up bopping us. I'm okay with this. I don't think we need much more setup than what we have. We have the Drednaw VMAX. Maybe I should have searched for a Switch a little bit harder, but I don't want to get rid of a Drednaw VMAX when I haven't had the opportunity to search through a deck. If that Energy Retrieval was a Quick Ball and I could Quick Ball for a Snom or something, I feel a lot more comfortable going through the deck. But our opponent here could maybe just get set up a little bit, knock us out with Bulletstorm. I mean, that sounds like the dream, if you ask me. Can Bulletstorm even get a knockout? I would just want to double check. So they can get up to 4 energies in play. That's 260, 260, minus 30, 230. Yeah, they can knock our Drednaw out this game with Tapu Koko Prism Star attaching 2 and attaching an energy for their turn. So, I mean, this might end up just being a quick game. So, if you end up playing against Pikarum when you're playing Drednaw, likely not going to go well. But we'll see how far we can go. But I'm not necessarily holding myself to the highest standards here. So there's the second energy that we can get. They can grab something like as simple as a Raichu, an Alolan Raichu, and a Dedenne. Yep, pretty self-explanatory there. So now they have a second Pokemon to attach the energies to with Koko. It's actually better to wait until you use the Dedenne to figure out exactly what you're doing with a Tapu Koko Prism Star, because it's just free knowledge that you can get from the deck, right? I think it would have also been better to attach that energy as well to the Bulletins. But, I mean, there's a lot of things that they could go for. Like, Full Blitz here is fine. They also had it before. Reasonably, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to send up Snom because Snom has free retreat. We could get an energy back. I feel like the Kombucha girl, like, Let's just go ahead and attach that there, and let's go Marnie. Our opponent has a pretty large hands. Maybe we could disrupt them enough. And our hand's dead here. You wanna know what? We're just gonna give our opponent the well played. We're gonna get out of this game. Okay, so the call on the flip. We won the flip. Hooray! Let's get it. So would we like to go first? Of course, we have some evolution Pokemon in our deck. We want to evolve them. And of course, the game where I get a start that I feel okay with, we have to start with Dedenne, and our choice is to start with Dedenne or Dedenne. So there's Swablu. I mean, this could be worse. I am almost okay here with passing, because we do have access to Pokemon Communication, which get us Frosmoth. You wanna know what? We're gonna vibe out here. We vibin'. So Altaria is kind of like the new version of Decidueye. Same Safeguard-esque ability. Not entirely sure. It might be called Safeguard. It stops the V, VMAX, and GX Pokemon. We do have Kyurem in our deck, so we can get around this, and this is exactly why we added it into the deck. So let's see exactly what our opponent does here. Also, this might be a completely different deck. It might just have a Swablu in it. Okay, so Air Balloon sounds busted. Let's go switch here into Snom. Let's get out our Frosmoth. Now let's see what we can get off Marnie here. Our opponent has a super large hands. Okay, so looks like we're going to go right back into a Dedenne. Can we get a Pokemon with some energies on it and knock out this Swablu before it even gets set up? I mean, we're super close here. I'm just gonna build up. Of course, we had to prize our Kyurem the game that we could use Kyurem. Okay, so let's go for Keldeo. And this should be able to go through the Altaria. I'm a vibe out with the Frosmoth up in the active spot, so we're gonna chill there. So one energy short of getting the knockouts. Couldn't really find anything. I'm actually fine with Crushing Hammer too. We don't require that many energies. That part's a little bit annoying. That part's very annoying as well. I don't know what the is this some kind of, is this the Greedent deck that I saw online? I wouldn't be surprised. I think Grimmsnarl requires an extra energy to attack or something like that, or 2 extra energies. I'm honestly not too sure. But we should be able to knock out the Altaria. I don't know why they attached the energy there. Okay, so they're obviously they realize that it's a vibe here. Okay. I mean, we're just gonna go with the Marnie here. And we do have Crobat in our deck, so I am going to go ahead with Capacious Bucket. Search out a couple water energies. Quick Ball away the Snom. And then I will grab the Crobats. So we are filling up our bench a little bit more than what I want, and we're not really showing the Drednaw tendencies of this deck. But it's one of those things where you just got to deal with it sometimes. There's another Capacious Bucket. We're going to Ice Dance there. We're going to click Done. We're going to put our energy for the turn. And we're going to go right with the Sonic Edge. So maybe next turn we can knock out this Zacian. Apparently it looks like we're going to, anytime our opponent does anything crazy, we're just going to go Marnie on them. Okay, so it's just 1 energy more. So it's any Pokemon. So kind of like Aerodactyl GX, but it's going to cost them, it's a stage 2 Pokemon, so it could be any of our Pokemon instead of just basic Pokemon. I'm actually okay with extra energy, especially when it comes to playing a deck like this. The energy press obviously is interesting there, but we got outs. We do need to save our Keldeo in general. But we'll see what our opponent gets here. We're going to vibe. Okay, Crobat, perfect. I think we actually, yeah, we lost all our Bosss Orders this game. I don't know what's the point of grabbing a Crobat and then not playing it. To me, that seems kind of, it's a little sus, it's a little weird. We do have access to energy retrieval. I mean, that part sounds kind of cool. I actually like this hand to kind of sit on this hand. I don't think our opponent's going to do too much, so let's just go Ice Dance. Let's get this Ish powered up. And I think we're pretty, we're dismantling their deck pretty well. We actually just got rid of their Zacian. They can't use Intrepid Sword. So if they're with a dead hand, they might just go sit with Grimmsnarl on the active pass. Also getting the Ordinary Rod is kind of cute too. Especially if our opponent uses a couple more Crushing Hammers and is as lucky as they were last couple turns ago. Is that just going to be an Altaria? Is that going to be a Greedent? Is that going to be a Grimmsnarl? What could it be? What is our opponent going to bring out? There's the Grimmsnarl gang. Perfect. Okay, so they're playing Marnie. I'm actually okay with that because that puts the Ordinary Rod away. And I'll actually hard retreat the Keldeo if necessary to get the knockout here. Or, I mean, I guess I could always play Switch. If anything, our hands have been okay this game. And we're getting knocked out. So that part sucks. I don't like getting knocked out. Grimmsnarl is actually a little bit more annoying than I thought it would be. But I guess that's how... It probably is a card that's a little bit better in a GX world. Now, I am making a mental note that I need one more energy to knock out this Grimmsnarl. So I am going to try to get that. I also don't think we drew... one of our cards for our... I don't think we drew Kyurem out of our deck. So we might want to Ordinary Rod that back so we have some outs here. But let's go ahead and send up the Drednaw Yeehaw. I mean, let's just double check to see what we could find here. Yeah, we definitely didn't get one. Let's, yeah, I'm okay with just getting that to pitch that. So, I mean, kind of the same thing that I was going to do before. Let's try to get an energy. Perfecto. We're going to go Ordinary Rod, do both. We only want that. And we're going to do that. Again, still going to vibe with this hand. Let's go G-Max Headbutt. Is it flip a coin if heads is attacked is more? No, we don't want to reflip again. So we are going to take the knockout there. Putting us ahead of our opponents. And there's a Drednaw. Still looking for the Kyurem. That'd be pretty good in this matchup. Because we just need to get around these Altarias. The thing that's sus about this game is our Bosss Orders are in our discard pile. So we can't bring up that Crobat to get an easy 2 prize cards or anything like that. Our opponent's gonna, whatever they have going on, they have going on. So that's the tough part about this game. I mean, if they want to attack us, I'm cool with it. They're only doing 30 damage. And friendly note to stay hydrated. Okay, the Bosss Orders I'm okay with. If anything, that's fine. Let's go Quick Ball here. Into the Keldeo, because the Keldeo should be able to go through that. I don't want to send up Keldeo at all. So I am just going to send up the Drednaw? Or do I want to send up Crobats? Let's send up this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and research, because there's still an air balloon left in the deck, I'm pretty sure. Oh, actually, I'm going to go with this. Let's retreat. Let's go through with Sonic Edge. Our opponent's probably like, wait, what? That's a GX. Yeah, we got through it and they're going to concede there. Okay, so our opponent called the flip. We lost the flip. They're going to go first, so we're likely not playing against a fire deck. And this hand seems kind of whack. We could be a top deck away from having a gray hand, though. So let's ride it out, see exactly what we're facing against. And I mean, our opponent got a Dedenne start, so they're probably a little ticked off about that. So let's see. Okay, Dragapult. Interesting. I haven't played against a Dragapult deck in a hot minute. I'm sure they're like, wow, it's just a Drednaw deck, not an Eternatus deck. So let's see what's up with that. Okay, so no energy, no nothing. We're gonna vibe with our single energy attachment, and we're gonna pass. We'll give our opponent the face. Okay, so they got their Dragapult. They probably didn't want to do too much. Maybe they top deck that Guru. Oh, and they could start hitting us through 60. Actually, this isn't affected by any attacks. Yeah, 60. Very fun times. Here with the Drednaw deck. We were able to beat an Altaria Grimmsnarl deck, so we'll see how it goes. At this rate, I don't even know if this deck could beat Sunscorch. Or could it? Not sure. Just waiting to see what our opponent's going to do here. Jirachi build's interesting, for sure. I haven't seen one of these Dragapult builds in forever. So there's Shred. It's going to do the full 60. Are we getting anything? I mean, the Keldeo-GX isn't going to be particularly helpful here, so let's just do this. Maybe we can get an attack off if we're lucky. Let's go ahead here and pass. We don't want to bench Pokemon against this deck because they can hit us on the bench with Max Phantom. So I think we're just watching our deck crash and burn in front of our eyes. Like, Drednaw VMAX with the red in its eyes and all the clouds around it. Pretty cool concept of art while we're playing this, but art's not going to save our behinds when we're playing against a Dragapult that's whipping us with the Max Phantom. Whipping the Max Phantom. Sounds like a Migos song almost. Don't Google Migos, kids. So there's Scoop Up. I mean, I don't know what they're trying to build up here. They're probably like, oh, we don't need Jirachi. This home slice Zach is not gonna... He's not gonna get set up ever. And I mean, they're probably correct. No, 100. I mean, we do survive a fair amount of attacks to the point where we could probably knock out a Drednaw VMAX. The one part that's going to be sus here is the Frosmoth. We can't really get a Frosmoth set up without it getting knocked out by Max Phantom. And I mean, our opponent's going to love to do that. What are they going to put it back on top of their deck? Bosss? What? Why would they put Bosss back on top of their deck? Oh, okay, they're going to put Research then on top of their deck. I was going to say, I was like, I don't know if anyone else sees the other Pokemon that aren't on my bench. So there's a Hundo. Keeping it 100. Let's put this away. I mean, that card's probably much more important than we think it is. Let's go to Dedenne. I mean, if we can somehow pull this game out of our butts, I'd be very happy. And I mean, hands like this make me think that it's not going to happen. So let's go G-Max Headbutt. Tails, yeah, let's go cheat mode. Would we like a flip again? Busted 240. Rawr. Got him. Yachty! I mean, it doesn't matter if I flip at all, because 160 plus 160 equals knockout. But that's cool. See, so at least the Marshadow inclusion is justified that Chaotic Swell exists in a matchup where we don't need to reflip. That part's actually hilarious. I mean, we are doing a higher rate of damage than our opponents, but they do currently win the game. They can win the game next turn. So let's go Pokemon Communication. Rippin' this for a Snom. The Snom's gonna stay there. Nothing else is necessary. Let's go ahead with Dedenne and yeet this hand back. There's a Snom. There's a Drednaw. Let's start building this up. And I mean, I think our opponent's going to easily be able to win this game, but if... we'll see. I was like, where's my reflip on that? But apparently not. So, if the one thing that we have going for us is that we drew 3 prize cards before our opponent was able to draw 3 prize cards, I'm pretty proud of that. The issue that I see here is that our opponent can simply go, oh, they really probably don't have any outs. Let's knock out Drednaw. Let's knock out Snom. Then we have 2 prize cards remaining. Cool. Then let's boss up this Dedenne-GX and win the game. See, this to me seems like it's a mistake. They had 4 prize cards lined up, and now I mean, I guess they have 5 prize cards lined up here. But now they've already wasted their boss. The Giant Bomb also likely doesn't matter in this case. See, so they can get the knockout there, they can get the knockout there. 5 prize cards. But they don't know if we play Reset Stamp, because they don't know what kind of deck this is either. Okay, so let's send up Snom. I mean, we'll feed our opponent the win con. They might have actually allowed us to win this game. Maybe. Oh, that card's really good. Let's go Quick Ball here to discard that for Crobat. Now, we really need to get some energies in play. Right, fun times. I think that loses us the game here. I don't think we have any more outs. So the fact that we missed the energy is the part that really hurts with us having 5 outs left. Yeah. We'll see if our opponent's able to win the game anyways. It's crazy that we literally went from automatically winning this game to losing the game in the same turn. But if our opponent has Bosss Orders, that's cool. I actually roll with that. It's just sad that this Drednaw deck actually would have won. So. Yeah, we actually would have won the game. Our opponent would have had no way to win the game. They would have just hit into our active. I mean, I guess they could have crushing hammered our energies away, depending on how many of those they actually play. We'll just give them the well played because we have no outs. And of course they're going to hit onto a Frosmoth, but that doesn't matter. So here we are, and here we are, and here we are. We lost to a Pika deck. We somehow were able to beat an Altaria deck, even though we prized our Kyurem. Thank the Keldeo gods. Maybe we could cut the Black Kyurem because Keldeo was enough to handle that matchup. Maybe it would not have been enough matchup to handle Decidueye, and maybe that's where this card comes in clutch. And of course we had to miss our energy attachment, or attachments, to lose the game against Dragapult in the last one after a horrendous start. I mean, I think that game was winnable, so maybe this deck has something to it, or maybe it's just worse Inteleon, or worse Lapras, or worse Wailord. I definitely think it falls into the last ones, where it's likely not as good as other Frosmoth based decks. So do keep that in mind if it comes to playtesting or acquiring these cards. I mean, let me invest in PTCGO or crack these open from the packs or play them in real life and give you my opinion before you go out and spend your hard-earned money or that you acquire the code cards necessary. My final verdict on this deck is pretty trash, but I'm glad that y'all could watch this dumpster fire all the way till this point. I mean, we did even 3 games than our normal 2, so appreciate it. If you want to see how bad this list is, check out the description below. The copy and pastable list is in PTCGO there. And you can always check out some of the socials that I got there. Follow me on social media. Join our Discord. Let me know what's popping with some of these decks. Or, you know, you can always use some of the discount codes that I provide here as well from some of our channel sponsors. That being said, we are going to cover some more Champions Path decks this week, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have yourself a wonderful day. Use code TheLoneBlown to save when you're registering for Hyperlux events. It will save you on your registration, and there's some large prizes. Be sure to check it out. Really hope that you enjoyed watching that video. I totally enjoyed making it. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like the video, share the video with everyone that you know, and subscribe to the channel as well. Totally appreciate all the support. We got a lot of cool things happening on the channel, so stay tuned for more. Be sure to check out the social links in the description. Thanks and have yourself a great one.